death toll has risen to 203 in Iran. And one of the most remarkable things about this is watching these images that we're seeing out of Iran. The government, of course, has cut off the internet to the entire country. They've even cut off landlines, like old-timey phone lines, because they're trying to keep these images from getting out. They've been cutting electricity to cities. And in stepped Elon Musk with Starlink. The reason that we're seeing these images right now is because Starlink, using satellites over Iran, is able to, and it's not a perfect system. It's not everybody has the access that they want or that they need, but enough of these images and video is getting out, which is
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashem, which means in the name, Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation, and that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, all right? Now, what brings us to our discussion / topic this afternoon is the mayhem and chaos that is ensuing in Iran, okay? And if you haven't heard or read by now, there's no internet at all in Iran. Therefore, the citizens can't get on their phone to broadcast or publicize what's going on, because not only is there no internet, the phones aren't working, whether that's cell phones or landlines, okay? And the alleged story behind this is that the government has shut down the internet to keep the people from broadcasting what's going on. Now, as usual, they prop up Esau Edom to be the hero in that Starlink was allowing the citizens of Iran to still somewhat broadcast what's going on over there. Because remember, Trump made a proclamation that if people start to be unalive in these protests over there in Iran, that he will intervene. Okay, so the whole story is that the government is, or should I say, certain individuals of the regime is threatened to, retaliate amongst the Israelis, the small hatters, those people that's protesting over there in the, the Strip of Gaza. And Trump said if Iran or any of his associates would even dare think of unaliving those protesters, that he would step in and intervene. So remember, this is a story. So now the government has shut down the internet, and not just the internet, but all forms of telecommunication. And then in comes Elon Musk's Starlink to save the day. And now Iran has put in jammers, so now that they can't even get a signal to send to broadcast what's going on. All right? Now you may ask yourself, who cares? Why are you making this video? And the importance of this video is to show you the prelude to what's to come here in Babylon the Great. All right? Because if they could shut down the internet and allegedly jam Starlink, which is supposed to be pretty much untouchable, you're supposed to be able to get internet when you can't get a signal. But now they saying that they got these jammers that's jamming Starlink where the people can't receive this type of information and, news. Guess what? It's coming to America. And Lord willing, sooner than we believe, because, hey, if this shutdown, which is supposed to come at the end of this month, kick off and take place, this could be the very well weapon or tactic that America uses to jam signals here where people can't get information, where people can't get online, where people can't use the internet unless they subscribe or get a digital ID. Okay? And this is the prelude, all right? They're setting the stage to bring it to America and blame it on Iran for a retaliation. All right? So we're moving into some very dicey and be on alert times, okay? Now this is from Forbes magazine, and it says, kill switch. Iran shuts down Starlink internet for first time. So now the story is Iran has hit a kill switch where now the people can't even use Starlink to show what's going on over there in Iran. All right, so now this is setting the stage for Trump to come in because he don't know what's going on, because now he can't get, well, you know, more than likely he's probably going to have intel. But as far as us, the people looking, the mass that's watching, we don't know what's going on. Because why? Allegedly, the government in Iran has shut down the internet and now has used the kill switch to stop Starlink from being a source of publication for the world to see. Hey, this thing is a spiritual war, man. When you see, what does it say? We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and high places. Man, hey, the Bible speaks and it's truth. All right. This is what's going on, man. And they get ready to shut this shit down. Well, we can't see, but it's going to be complete darkness. But guess what? We got that light in Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, call Allah Yahweh Bahashim Mashak Yahweh Shai. Because we see the plan of this damn devil, man. All right? We can see how this is the prelude, how he could shut down a whole country where no one knows what's going on. Because why? They don't have the internet. They don't have landlines. They don't have cell phones. They don't have nothing. This is a next level blackout. We saw blackouts in Cuba not too long ago where they didn't have lights or electricity. But to this extent, where no phones, no internet, not even a Starlink satellite can reach. Come on, man. Imagine when it comes to the lands and the shores of America. This government shutdown is setting the stage for a perfect storm. All right? Shut the government down. Allow chaos to ensue. Shut the internet down. Landlines and also whatever else, cell phones and whatever else form of communication. Choke the people out to where they have to rely on whatever it is that the solution may or may not be, which we know is coming. So it says, kill switch. Iran shut down Starlink internet for first time. It says, we have not, come on with the subscriptions. It says, we have not seen this before. Iran's digital blackout has now deployed military jammers to shut down access to Starlink. This is a game changer for Plan B connectivity for protesters and anti-regime activists when domestic internet plugs are pulled. You don't think they're going to shut it down here in America with these protests? Especially if it spills over into this government shutdown, people are really going to be protesting. It's going to be easy. This is the prelude. All right? This is how you shut off or choke out the people. You take away their access of availability. The internet. Okay? You take it away, man, and all chaos ensues. See? You won't be able to see an ICE agent pulling out his service pistol and hitting somebody or unaliving them in the broad daylight. Because why? There's no internet to broadcast that. You ain't gonna know what the hell's going on when they pull the plug. That's what they wanted at. All right. And this government shutdown that's looming and looking like it's a strong possibility by the end of this month is setting the stage for that. All right. So this is what we coming into. They pull the plug, they shut the internet down. You ain't gonna know what the hell's going on. Okay. You gonna be out there walking in complete darkness unless you have this truth and unless Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai is on your side. It says, despite reports that tens of thousands of Starlink units are operated inside Iran wire reports the blackout has also reached satellite connections. It is reported that about 30% of Starlink uplink and downlink traffic was initially disrupted, quickly rising to more than 80% within hours. And don't get it twisted. This is bigger than Iran jamming Starlink satellites. This is a trial and a test before it's ran live here in America. All right? Because they're getting ready to shut this internet down. They're getting ready to close off all communications, choke off all points of entry, whether it's, via by the way of sea or land or air. You ain't gonna be able to fly, get on a boat, drive, or anything, man. They getting ready to shut this down. This shutdown is gonna be the shutdown, Lord willing. Abba Ratazah. It says, Iran wire reports the blackout has also reached satellite connections. It is reported that about 30% of Starlink uplinks and downlink traffic was initially disrupted, quickly rising to more than 80% within hours. What are you going to do when there's no warning? You don't know what's going on because the TV ain't working, satellites ain't working, you can't watch news, you can't do anything. It's going to be go time. All right? When you can't get your supplementals from Snap or Wick or whatever, because why? It ain't come through because why? They shut the internet down. Now you got to go to these detention centers, these so-called, or should I say, quote unquote, FEMA camps, whatever they're going to be called in that time. All right? Because why? This devil knows he has but a short time. All right? So he's setting the stage for all out civil unrest and civil war, all right, which is going to lead to what? The implementation of the mark of the beast, which is going to what? Facilitate World War III, to where the missiles will be fired back and forth, which is intercontinental ballistic missiles from America to Russia, from Russia back over here to China and all else. All right, NATO as well. Okay, because the whore, it says in Revelation 17, if I'm not mistaken, that they should hate the whore. All right, the whore is Babylon the Great. And we see that by this president, Trump, he's setting the stage for the beast to hate the whore. NATO is likely going to turn against America, and we see the makings in the work. All right, with Trump brazen and brash attitude telling that he's going to take Denmark, Greenland. He's going to take it, which is part of NATO, the National Atlantic Treaty Organization, if I'm not mistaken. So he's already setting the stage for this whore America to be hated. All right? Why? Because he's in bed with the small hats. The least of the flock shall draw them out. Don't get it twisted. This is where it's leading to. These small hatters, these 1948ers, these imposters. All right? They the one that's really being used to get this whole thing jump started. Okay? So this is where we at. All right, see, the Times of Israel says the deployment of Starlink receivers is now far greater in Iran than during previous blackouts. That's despite the government never authorizing Starlink to function, making the service illegal to possess and use. Hey, man, it comes down to controlling a land. You have to control the resources, okay? And this is all big bad America does, man. It comes in, it steals the people land, it controls their resources and their inhabitants, okay? And they set up a narrative where they make themselves out to be the good people and these people the bad people, all right? What makes you the authority to protect your country, but they can't protect theirs? See? So this is where we at with it, all right? And it's coming to the shore of America, all right? Because why? This place is prime for judgment, all right? They're just setting the stage, okay? For them going in, doing this, interfering to now where they can set the stage and narrative that Iran has now retaliated in the same manner or fashion or close and has compromised or infiltrated our infrastructure. All right, the grid. Okay, so as stated earlier, this next shutdown, which is supposed to be, if they can't work it out, which is looking like that the Senate, the House, the Republic, Democrat can't come to a conclusion by the end of January, that there's going to be a complete, or if not complete, a partial shutdown again. All right, now the talking head saying it's over the DHS budget, which is the Department of Homeland Security budget. And also, I don't know if they completely worked out the ACA, Affordable Care Act plan. All right, so there's so much on the table that's brewing, that's coming to a boiling point, that's going to spill over coming into this next shutdown. All right, which could shut it all down, Lord willing, Abaratasa. So let's get a few precepts. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It reads, lest Satan, and that's the adversary, should get an advantage of us. See? Because if you don't know what's going on or you don't know what time we in, then guess what? He's going to take full advantage of you in your ignorance, all right? Because, hey, there's no excuse. There's no cloak for your sins now, all right? This word is going out full volume and there's no excuse. You can't know, oh, I didn't have time, before this internet shuts down. I didn't have time to find the Lord. No, you bullshitting, okay? This internet isn't going to be around forever, all right? They're going to monopolize it where you have to pay or you have to receive some type of, verification or something to use it, all right? And you can't say, I didn't know that this was the truth, because this internet is time sensitive. It's not going to be here forever, all right? And this devil knows that. So lest Satan, the adversary, Esau, Edom, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan, should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? So who knows what he's going to do to either postpone or outright stop the midterm elections, because by all metrics, it's looking like that the Republicans can lose their seats, okay? And the Democrats could take over, all right? And we know they all the same feather or the same, feather on the same bird, but it's to give these peoples the illusion that they have a choice to pick from when they're both the same, all right? Two feathers of the same bird. So it says, least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And these are the ones that have taken heed to the word, the elect. They're not going to be bamboozled, All right? Because why? They've taken heed. They've taken the warning. They're preparing themselves. They're getting their houses in order. They're doing what's required. They're seeking the Lord. All right? Now, the 2/3 of our people, they through. They're not going to get it. Satan will take an advantage of them, along with the other heathens. Okay? So let's go to Matthew. Because when it happens, it's going to happen. And you're going to be wherever you at when the blackout occurs, when the shutdown happens. That's it. Wherever you at, that's where you're going to be at. All right? Whether you out on the job working, whether you at a movie theater, whether you out having dinner with your family, when all hell breaks loose, when they shut this shit down, wherever you at, that's where you at. And you got to completely and solely rely on Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 24. And let's see. Let's start at 15, all right? Now, this is referring to 70 AD, but guess what? It still holds relevant today. When Matthew 24 and 15, Yahweh Shai is speaking, and he says, when ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. 16, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. So this is the mindset that we're going to have when martial law is implemented, when the chaos ensues, when the grid is attacked and goes down, and it may be down for a while before they come back up with the new world order, the one world order, the beast system, spearheaded by the mark, the RFID microchip, or the NFC or the NFD. If you in Europe, it says 17, let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. So this is the mindset we have to have, because we're going to have to be as pilgrims in that day. It says, and woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days, right? Because it's going to be hard for you to be on the run or be on the move, and you got little ones to take care of. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. Imagine if you got to leave. Imagine if this goes down. Lord willing, it does. And it's already wintertime. Now you got to move. Now you got to move around. Now you trying to check on your family. Now you got to see if you can get over here from there. And you in the heart of winter. And especially if you up north where it's snowing. The gas pumps are shut down, so now you don't have any way to get gas to go about and see if your mother that's way across town is doing all right. So now pray that your flight doesn't be in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, because that's your day of rest. That shows you that if it goes down during the time of, your day of rest, that it's not a pleasurable time to be in. If it goes down at all, but especially if it's in the winter and on a Sabbath day. Verse 20, but pray ye that your flight, your escape, be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. This is Jacob's trouble, all right? And if you don't think it could come and come to the shores of America, just look at 9/11, all right? Just look at 2020, okay? And now get prepared for what's to come, all right? This shutdown could facilitate it all right? Lord willing, Abaratazar. So it says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be short. So these devils ain't going to get but so far. All right. Once they make that microchip mandatory, pursuing the prophecy, Revelation 13 and 16 on down, then they're going to be taken out shortly afterwards. All right. But until then, we have to be prepared. Okay. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and 40. It reads, O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle. See, this is what we're supposed to be doing, getting right, getting our houses in order. It says, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Right. You may not go back to your home ever again after that, wherever you at when it goes down. Okay? You may be out for a while on your own. You may not see your family again. See? But see, these words is comforting us because it's preparing us and putting us in the right mindset. All right? Because why? We're getting our house, our body, our temple in order. In order with what? With what the word says. All right? That's the spirit we in. All right? We're not in the spirit of mirth. That's the wrong spirit to be in, especially in these times. Okay? This is Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 4. It says, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. This is the time, this is the mindset that the wise, the elect, is in. Getting ready to lose it all. All right? We've been mourning for our bridegroom, Yahushua, to come back. All right? And now the Father is hearing our cries because we turned and repented and came back to him, and now he's getting ready to answer our prayers. So it says, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth, right? That's all they want to do is party, drink, and smoke, like Biggie said. Go out and have a good time, travel. Well, guess what? It's going to be that very same mirth spirit that get a lot of our people 2/3 jammed up and taken advantage of by Satan. Because they're in that, what? They're in that house of mirth spirit. Just want to have a good time. Just want to put my past behind me. Okay? And that's what's going to get them jammed up because they're not ready up top. They're not ready in the spirit, in the mind. So when all hell breaks loose, they're going to be scrambling and discombobulated. But we, Lord willing, is going to have this right here on our side. Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. The Lord did not give us a spirit of fear, but of love and of power and of a sound mind. It says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of Yahweh is his treasure. See? So this is why we get right, so we can experience the treasure, because we gonna need it. All right? We're gonna need it when this society collapses, and it's already failing, but when it completely implodes on itself, we're gonna need to receive the treasures, the mercy, the glory of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right? And if whoever you think you following and listening to ain't telling you this, you got to examine yourself. 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. All right? Examine yourself because, hey, once it's here, it's here. All right? Either you got it or you don't. You ain't going to be able to look and find who you thought you was listening to when that time is gone, or when that time is come, because why? They're gonna have been abandoned the ship. All right? They got whatever it is that they was looking to get out of you, whether it's your time, your energy, and more than likely your money in your wallet. All right? So this is where we at with it. Okay? Wisdom and knowledge, according to the Holy Bible, is what's going to keep us sane and stable in the times that's coming. All right, so let's go ahead and finish up and close out with 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. See, that's the truth. That's the wisdom. That's the knowledge. That's the understanding. That's to know what times we in. All right, the season, as it says in 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. But of the times and season, brethren, ye need that I write unto you, for ye know yourselves perfectly. Why? Because we're measuring the time diligently, according to the Holy Bible. So we're sober. We're sober-minded, all right? We're not drunk. We're not staggering. We're not falling over. We're not going back to sleep. because we understand our salvation is nearer than what we believe. So it says 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the same one that's trying to take advantage of you through his devices, through your ignorance, because you rejected the law, all right, then he's going to get you. It says, because your adversary, the devil, which goes into deception, false accuser, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour, right? He's just he's just what you call test driving his satellites and his other devices before they bring him to the shores of America. All right? And don't think that Iran isn't in on it. As we know, pursuant to Psalms 83, all the nations are complicit, all right, against the children of Israel, all right? So it's all to, keep us, what? Docile and complacent and keep them on top, man. But that's why the Lord is getting ready to intervene, all right, and take all these damn nations down. That's why when Yahushua comes, he's taking all their crowns, which is a representation of rulership power, man. Ain't gonna be no once America falls, then you're gonna have allies and allegiance that's going to take its place. No, Yahushua is taking the rulership after he takes Esau out of power. All right? So be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right, so with that being said, pray some more of us edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.